The year was 1391. In the cold, rugged highlands of Tsang province, amidst windswept hills and nomadic camps, a child was born in a humble sheep shed. His name, Pema Dorje Tibetan, for Vajra lotus, symbolizing unshakable purity blooming even in harshness. His family lived a nomadic life. Father, Gompa Dorje, a quiet, strong-willed herder. Mother, Jomo Namka Ki, a resilient, courageous woman who raised sheep and hope under the open sky. They were not saints or scholars, just hard-working mountain people, living in tents, moving with the rhythm of the land. A night that was anything but ordinary. Tibetan oral tradition tells of an eerie miracle the night Pema Dorje was born. As his mother cradled him for the first time, their camp was attacked by bandits. In a moment of terror, she hid the newborn in a nearby bush and fled for safety. By dawn, she returned fearing the worst. But what she found stunned her. A large black raven perched above her baby, fiercely guarding him from other birds. In Tibetan culture, ravens are seen as the manifestation of Mahakala, a protector deity. From that moment, whispers spread this child was no ordinary soul. The universe had sent a guardian before he even spoke a word. For the first 7 years, Pema lived as a shepherd, helping his parents in the highlands. But there was something different. He would spend hours in silence, carving Buddhist mantras into stones using sticks and rocks. Om Mani Padme Hum, etched not by scholars, but by a child who had never seen a scripture. While other children played, he prayed. While others chased sheep, he chased silence. In 1398, when Pema was just 7, tragedy struck. His father passed away. His mother, unable to support the family alone, made a heart-wrenching decision. She sent him to live with her brother, a monk, at Narthang Monastery. Thus began Pema Dorje's journey from a shepherd's son to a student of the Dharma. At Narthang, Pema quickly showed signs of brilliance. He mastered Tibetan script and sacred texts with ease. His talent was so profound that the abbot himself, Gendun Drup, took him under his wing. By age 14, he was ordained as a novice monk. He was given a new name, Gendun Drup, meaning realizer of aspirations. Even at the monastery, young Gendun would still sneak away to carve mantras into stones, not out of duty, but out of deep inner calling. He wasn't taught to believe. He was born remembering. His eyes held a calm beyond his years. His presence carried something ancient. And though he never claimed to be special, those around him quietly began to believe it. Gendun Drup was no longer the quiet boy in the pasture. He was a rising spiritual force, a soul guided by omens, tested by loss, and now ready to shape the destiny of Tibet. Little did anyone know, he would one day be remembered as the first Dalai Lama. (1415, 1447). The meeting with Tsongkhapa, a life of teaching, and the birth of Tashi Lhunpo. By 1415, Gendun Drup was 25, no longer a shepherd boy, but a rising monk seeking deeper knowledge. He traveled to the Yu region of central Tibet, where he finally met the man who would shape his destiny. Je Tsongkhapa, the legendary scholar saint and founder of the Gelug school of Tibetan Buddhism. This meeting would not only change Gendun Drup's life, it would help redefine Tibetan Buddhism itself. Tsongkhapa saw something special in the young monk. As a blessing, he gave Gendun Drup a piece of his monastic robe, a powerful symbol of spiritual succession. It was more than fabric. It was a seed, a sign that Gendun Drup would help carry Buddhism into a new era. After Tsongkhapa's passing in 1419, Gendun Drup vowed to carry forward his master's vision. He began traveling across Tsang province, teaching alongside Sherab Sengj, Tsongkhapa's tantric successor. Over the next 12 years, the two taught Buddhist philosophy, Lamrim, the gradual path to enlightenment, and Vajrayana, practices across Sakya, Kadam, and Gelug monasteries. His voice, once soft in the pastures, now echoed through the halls of great monastic universities. By 1432, Gendun Drup converted the Tanak Riku monastery, formerly Sakya, into a Gelug institution, and settled at Yangchen Monastery, which soon overflowed with eager disciples. Then came his greatest legacy. In 1447, he founded Tashi Lhunpo Monastery at Shigatse, a spiritual citadel that would become a cornerstone of Gelug Buddhism, and later, the seat of the Panchen Lamas. This bold step was not without resistance. Tangtong Gyalpo, a Sakya master, objected to the monastery's location, but Gendun Drup stood firm. He envisioned not just a building, but a future, one where knowledge, ethics, and compassion would thrive together. He established 3 colleges within Tashi Lhunpo, dedicated to Sutra, Vinaya, and Tantra, a complete system of Buddhist education under one roof. A cold Himalayan dawn, Gendun Drup, fresh from a river bath, holds a scripture in one hand, a prayer on his lips. As the first light hits Mount Shigatse, he marks the ground for Tashi Lhunpo's foundation. From shepherd to monk, from disciple to builder, Gendun Drup follows his master's path and lays the stone for a new spiritual era. Gendun Drup was not just a teacher, he was a profound writer. He authored important commentaries on the Vinaya, monastic discipline, many of which are still revered in the Gelug tradition today. He taught both Sutra and Tantra, offering a balanced, fully integrated spiritual curriculum. He wasn't just preserving tradition, he was elevating it. By the end of this era, Gendun Drup had transformed from a wandering seeker into a powerful voice of Buddhism. Through the legacy of Tsongkhapa, the foundations of Gelug were strengthened across Tibet. And with Tashi Lhunpo, Gendun Drup didn't just build a monastery, he built a monument to Dharma that would last for centuries. In 1447, deep in the Shigatse region of Tibet, Tashi Lhunpo Monastery was born not just a building, but a vision cast in stone. Founded by Gendun Drup, who became its first abbot, the monastery quickly became a sacred powerhouse, a confluence of knowledge, meditation, and ethics. Here he established 3 major colleges: Sutra, canonical teachings; Vinaya, monastic discipline; Tantra, esoteric practice. If wisdom is the body, Tashi Lhunpo became its soul. Gendun Drup wasn't just a teacher or abbot. He was a profound philosopher, writer, and reformer. He authored around 8 significant texts, including Sunlight on the Path to Freedom, a clear, compassionate guide to monastic life, rooted in Vinaya discipline; Commentary on Nagarjuna's Middle Way, interpreting deep Madhyamaka philosophy with rare precision; Song of the Eastern Snow Mountain, a poetic tribute to his teacher, Tsongkhapa, expressing both reverence and impermanence; Mahamudra, teachings insights into the highest levels of meditative realization. His writing was not only intellectual, but lyrical, touching both the heart and the mind. At Tashi Lhunpo, Gendun Drup lived a life of discipline, humility, and service. His routine was austere yet inspiring. 4 a.m., rising for deep meditation; morning, teaching Lamrim, Vinaya, and Tantric yogas to students; afternoon, writing and commentaries; evening, silent contemplation; night, preaching to lay communities. The monastery was filled with an atmosphere of silence, sacred rhythm, and focused learning. Even in silence, his presence spoke volumes. He taught not just with words, but with his way of being. By 1474, Gendun Drup had reached the age of 83. Though his body grew weaker, his inner clarity deepened. A few weeks before his passing, he gathered his closest disciples and shared these words: "The flame of Dharma will keep burning, so long as you don't fear the wind." He gave them clear instructions for the monastery's future. Then, slowly, he entered a deep meditative absorption, Mahasamadhi, and passed peacefully into nirvana. He left not with fanfare, but with stillness, a stillness that echoed across time. Nearly 60 years after his death, the third incarnation, Sonam Gyatso, was honored with the title Dalai Lama by Mongol ruler Altan Khan. This title, meaning Ocean of Wisdom, was retroactively applied to past incarnations, and thus Gendun Drup became known as the first Dalai Lama. A life lived in quiet devotion became a name that would echo beyond death, beyond dynasties, beyond time. He helped solidify the Gelug tradition as a major force in Tibetan Buddhism. His writings continue to shape monastic education across the Himalayas. Tashi Lhunpo Monastery remains one of the most respected centers of Tibetan Buddhism. His journey from a sheep-herding boy to an immortal spiritual icon is not just history, it's a lesson in purpose, simplicity, and inner truth. When Gendun Drup entered final meditation in 1474, a wave of grief swept across the monastic world of Tashi Lhunpo and the Tibetan highlands. But soon, grief gave way to mystery and a question. Can a master like this live only once? Or does the light return when the world needs it again? Though the body had returned to dust, his conscious presence still lingered in visions, dreams, and whispers across the land. A few years after his death, senior monks of the Gelug order began to see unusual signs. Prophetic dreams, visions during deep meditation, and cryptic hints Gendun Drup had spoken before his passing. All of it pointed toward a young boy born in the U region, a child named Gendun Gyatso, born in 1475, just 1 year after Gendun Drup's death. There was something in the boy's eyes, a calm, a weight, a knowing as if he'd already walked this path before. The child was formally recognized as the reincarnation of Gendun Drup. He studied in the same monasteries, followed the same path of learning, and eventually grew into one of the most influential Gelug scholars of his time. But still, at this point, the term Dalai Lama did not exist. In the 16th century, the third incarnation of this spiritual line, Sonam Gyatso, was invited by Altan Khan, a powerful Mongol ruler who had embraced Tibetan Buddhism. Altan Khan saw Sonam Gyatso as the highest spiritual master in Tibet. In honor, he bestowed a new title, Dalai Lama. Dalai means ocean in Mongolian. Lama means guru or master, ocean of wisdom. Sonam Gyatso was named the third Dalai Lama. And with that act, the title was retroactively applied to his two predecessors. Gendun Drup became the first Dalai Lama. Gendun Gyatso became the second. In Tibetan Buddhism, it is believed a bodhisattva does not rest in nirvana, but returns again and again to guide sentient beings toward liberation. The Dalai Lama is considered the living embodiment of Chenrezig, the bodhisattva of compassion, Avalokiteshvara. This tradition is not mere ritual, it's sacred science. Rebirth is discovered, not declared. Monks rely on signs, dreams, visions, celestial phenomena. Search parties travel across villages and valleys. When a child is identified, they are tested and trained from early childhood. It is a tradition where the soul is followed, not the surname. Tashi Lhunpo Monastery still thrives in Tibet. The Dalai Lama lineage has reached its 14th reincarnation. His Holiness Tenzin Gyatso, and the soul of Gendun Drup, his writings and his compassion lives on in every incarnation. He left behind no throne, only a path, not a dynasty but a destiny.